Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be doing a video for you on the SoundSoul Bluetooth dancing water speakers. So let's get into this. So if we take a look at the included accessories and whatnot, you're going to get the micro USB cable for charging it. Just a 3.5mm auxiliary cable if you want to connect it to a device that isn't Bluetooth. And then we have the cable for connecting the two speakers together. And then we also have the manual here. So here you can see the packaging. Just shows you a little bit about the speakers and whatnot, gives you some technical specifications. So here you can see the two speakers right now. So they're not connected right now to the cord, but if you do want to use one just stand alone, you can use it like that. But basically they're wireless and you just connect these two with one little wire. And there is the water in the bottom. It does have a clear plastic top and then the glossy black bottom. So if we take a closer look at the speaker, you can see it says SoundSoul right there. We have the glossy black finish, which is a little bit prone to fingerprints and scratching. We have the track buttons for the volume, the skip and play and whatnot, and then we have the mode. Then you can see we have the little light right there, which is going to tell you whether it's on or pairing and whatnot. And on this, we have the reset button. We have the audio in for the 3.5mm headphones. We have the DC in, which is what you're going to use to charge it, and then we have this mini USB connector, which is what you're going to use to connect the two speakers together. And the second speaker just says dancing water on the bottom where the buttons would usually be. And we have the connection. So now that the two speakers are hooked up, let's just go ahead and turn it on by touching the button on the bottom to power it on.
Bluetooth mode has been on. Waiting for pairing.
So when you turn it on, it's going to tell you that the Bluetooth is on, or it's waiting to pair, or if it's paired to your device, which I guess is a little bit cool. But if you do want to turn it down, there are volume controls on the speakers. In terms of these speakers, how about they work with Bluetooth? Now it has a 2500 milliamp hour battery, which is, it's alright. It says it can get up to 3 hours of playtime and 6 hours of standby time, which isn't bad. But if you keep these speakers plugged in, they seem to do an alright job. In terms of Bluetooth, they do a pretty good job. I've had them in one room and then could go into a completely different other room and they'd be pretty far apart, and these speakers still had a good solid connection. They didn't disconnect or anything like that. I used this in one level of my house and I was on the other level and these still worked fine, so good overall Bluetooth connection. Didn't have any issues with stability or anything like that, so that's good. So here you can see I have one speaker set up and then all the way over here is the other one. So in between the cables there's a decent amount of length. So if you want to have one speaker on one side of your monitor and one speaker on the other side, it seems to work fine unless you have a pretty big setup, but otherwise the length in between the two is alright. In terms of sound quality, these did a pretty decent job. Now you'd expect on speakers or around this cheap of a price point, you wouldn't expect them to sound amazing, but for being Bluetooth speakers that are also dancing water speakers, you'd expect it to be more like a kind of like a decoration or novelty item, but these actually sounded pretty good. I'm not going to say they had like booming bass or anything like that, but for the overall they had a pretty good clarity. They were really loud actually. I wasn't expecting them to be as loud as they were. I could be in the same room with them fully blasted and it was plenty loud enough for me. And bass on it was alright. There was some. Now it wasn't very good bass. It was a little flat, but it was still there in the music and you could definitely hear it. Nothing too amazing. The treble on it was actually pretty good. I got a nice response out of it. Overall I was just pretty satisfied with the sound quality of these. I think for the price they sound pretty good, and also being a cool item like they are, I think it's a pretty good deal. So in terms of the built-in water pumps and lights and whatnot, you can turn the lights off, but I have not been able to find a way how to turn the actual water pumps off, which is a little bit of a bummer in case you really don't want to hear the water pump squirt up. So that's the only thing I can really say about these, but yeah, it's not too big of an issue. You can turn the LED lights off if you want. The water pumps aren't that bad. Like if you're listening to music above 70% volume, you're not going to hear the water pumps at all really. But if you're doing something like casually watching a YouTube video or something like that that's a little bit more quiet, you are going to hear the water pumps a little bit. So it's the only really real issue I have about these speakers. Overall, I was pretty impressed with these speakers. They're Bluetooth, they're dancing water speakers, and they sound alright. So I think for the price, if you're interested, go check them out. These are definitely a nice pair of speakers if you're looking for dancing water speakers. Not only do they look cool, but they also sound alright. So that's pretty much all I can really say about these. If you want to buy them, I'll have some links in the description below. Thanks to SoundSoul for sending these out to review. That's all for now, and have a nice day. See you guys later.